It's gonna be a short clip. I'm not sure if I'm gonna put on YouTube or X or both. Probably both actually. But I just find it ironic that no one's discussing the fact that Elon Musk, in the last year, his net worth has increased 70%, which for a lot of people that's not a humongous deal. But uh, I follow Forbes Real Time Billionaires page, which lists at the end of every trading day billionaires' wealth or whatever, and how much it changed, whether they went up a billion or lost a billion or lost a half a billion or lost, in Elon's case, 6 billion or Elon's case, 8 billion. But since January of 2023, I believe, I'm sorry, 2024, his wealth has increased 70%, and he's the first person in the history of the world to crack $400 billion. I believe he's upwards of like 420 billion or in that range or whatever. His next closest competitor is Jeff Bezos at, I believe, about 240 billion. And then Oliver, that's my dog Oliver. So my question is, how does one go from, the first person to crack 200 billion at the beginning of 1 year, and at the end of the same year, they say he's up 70%. He's basically doubled his net worth to 400, plus $1 billion. Besides, locking arms with Donald Trump and becoming part of, his administration, what has he produced? SpaceX, I think maybe 1 out of every 10 rockets where they return them and they land them back on the pad, it's really cool. It's really, really cool. It's great, but I'm not sure where the profit is there, or maybe I'm missing something. I mean, I guess these hedge fund managers that want to invest in all this, maybe they know something I don't. But what I do know is that we ain't going to Mars anytime soon. Not in my lifetime. Well, I'll do it this way. Not in my parents' lifetime, who are in their 70s. Not in my lifetime. I just turned 49. Not in my daughter's lifetime. She's about to be 21. Not in her children's lifetime. And not in her grandchildren's lifetime. And I'd even go as far to say as not in my daughter's grandchildren's children's lifetime, which I think would probably span close to 100 years. It's all, as Jason Burns would say, I forget his quote, but it's all crazy sauce. It's just not happening. And I don't see the advantage of us, planting our flag on Mars other than just to be cool. You know what I mean? It's one thing to get there. It's a whole other different thing to set up a colony and start mining or taking resources or whatever from the planet. It's a harsh environment. I think that Matt Damon's movie The Martian, which I really enjoyed actually, is probably one of the most detrimental psyops that the government or Hollywood's ever put out, because what they purport is that somebody can survive on Mars by themselves for an extended period of time, and then we can just go and rescue them at any time. Space is effing dangerous. And we can't even get to the moon right now, as far as I know. Because if we could, I think we'd be there by now. But yet, Elon is claiming that we're going to go to Mars in the next, I think he said the next 3 or 4 years, or if not 5 years, whatever. That ain't happening. That's just, that's hopium, as they say. So just be careful, like, what you buy into. And like I said, I want to know where Elon came up with $200 billion in the last, year to 18 months or whatever it's been. It ain't from selling Teslas. Trust me. It, it ain't from selling Teslas. I mean, cool cars, great car company, and there's a part of me that likes Elon, but there's a huge part of me that does not trust Elon. I'm no expert on all this stuff, but I do follow people that do know what they're talking about, specifically a young lady named Whitney Webb. I highly recommend you follow her. She's on X. She's been criticized a lot lately because she's not jumping on the Trump bandwagon or otherwise. And then, although we're not actually friends, I consider him a friend, and I'm a big supporter. I monitor some of his YouTube page as a moderator and promote. I try to help him make money by promoting his his buy me a coffee and stuff like that. And he's one of those guys. He's like me. And this is his quote, not mine. I'm not going to take credit for it, but we're both politically homeless. I am a registered Republican. I have been since I was 18. But I certainly do not, believe in everything the Republican Party believes in, especially at the federal level. And the only main reason that I am a Republican is basically so I can vote in primary elections in Pennsylvania, where if you're not a Republican or a Democrat, you cannot vote in the primaries, and also for local elections. I'm pretty fiscally conservative, but socially I'm a little more liberal. I have interesting views on things like abortion and stuff like that. I'm a Christian, so I abhor abortion, but at the same time, I'm not sure if making it illegal across the board is the right thing, just purely from a governmental standpoint. You can only legislate morality so far, so much. And maybe I'm wrong on that. Maybe I am. Maybe I need to pray about it. I don't know. But yeah, I just want to know how Elon, and he's done some good stuff, X went from Twitter, which is an absolute cesspool, to a better platform, but it's not a free platform. And I actually paid for the blue check mark to see what would happen, and I have a very modest account of several hundred people. And as soon as I got the blue check mark, I gained like 200 or 300 people, and then over the next 6 to 8 weeks, I just started to hemorrhage people again and drop back down. Now I'm slowly building it back up, but I can't figure the algorithms out. Musk said, don't use hashtags, they're outdated. I don't understand why they would be or why they wouldn't be. So I've tried to stop using those. But, just use your God-given discernment and ask yourself how a man that has multiple businesses finds the time to run all these businesses, and I know he can delegate responsibilities to different people, but how he has time to run all these businesses and then cozy up to the President of the United States. And we saw the excitement with him, throwing his heart out there and touching his heart and giving what people were trying to say was the Nazi salute, which was absolutely ridiculous. Excuse me. I think that Elon is a lot of things, but I don't think I don't think he's a Nazi at all. But I don't know if I should say this, but a few years ago, while I was praying, the Lord showed me that Elon is going to be connected to the Antichrist somehow. At first, I thought he was the Antichrist, but I don't think he is. But remember, this is a man that wants to put brain chips in your head, and the way they're going to do it is, through Trojan horse civilian systems, where they put a brain chip in some guy's head that is a quadriplegic or something like that, and all of a sudden he's going to be able to, have the use of his hands or his upper body or his legs or everything. I mean, I don't know, but yeah, to double your wealth basically in a year, and make Jeff Bezos look like a dime store owner, or a Dollar Tree owner, I should say, is ridiculous, because love Bezos or hate him, he actually provides a service to people that they like. I mean, yeah, granted, he shut down a lot of big businesses, through his innovations or whatever, and it used to bother me a lot, but hey, 120 years ago, when the automobile came out, I'm sure there was a lot of naysayers saying, you're going to ruin the industry with horses and stuff like that, and put a lot of people out of work. But eventually, things worked themselves out. So I'm coming up on like 11 minutes here, but that's all. But just ask yourself how one man, goes from $220 billion, to $420 billion in less than a year's time. That's all.